Peace. This is your brother Divine God Be a Law. You know, had to change my little residence, change a little rest spot, went back to where I was born at. Came here resurrected dead. With no further ado, I would like to get to today's Supreme Daily Mathematics, which is Knowledge-Cipher, all being born to the knowledge, and that's 10. 1 plus 0 equals 1. Knowledge is the accumulated of a body of undeniable facts. An undeniable fact is not necessarily a preference or a belief or what you agree to do. You know what I mean? Knowledge is an undeniable fact. So when I say 1 plus 1 equals 2, that's an undeniable fact. When you got 1 plus 1 equals 2, that's an undeniable fact that I'm holding up 2 fingers right now. If you got knocked upside your head and then somebody asked you how many fingers I'm holding up and you said 3 and you see 2 fingers, bro, you going to the mental institute, you going to the hospital, you ain't fighting no more. You know what I mean? Not that night. But a cipher is a completion. It shows a completion. And this is not to know one person or nothing like that. This is something I want to get across to people. Basically, it's like this. Knowledge permeates belief in preference, in assumption. It gets rid of all that. It's just like how it's deep. It's deep. It's super deep. For one. Now, let's say that we're going to live that part out. We're going to live out how knowledge cipher borns knowledge. For instance, let's say that it is an actual fact that the original man is logically based. He's based in logic, and that the woman is based in emotion. Now, when you get to that point, you got to start understanding that us men, we don't deal off emotion, and women, yes, y'all deal a lot in emotion. That doesn't take away from the women that deal in emotion. It's the fact that the truth of the matter is women are emotionally based and men are logical based. So yes, it's gonna be a lot of men that's lying to the women, teaching lies to the women so that they can get the women to do whatever they want to do for the women. Or they're gonna get the women to do whatever they want to do for themselves, you know what I mean? And then you got women who thinking that they smarter than men when all actuality these dudes are just lying to you. So who's the smarter one? You know what I'm saying? I think the smarter one is the person who make you think you dumber. It's just like a 15-year-old who's sitting here arguing with a 6-year-old baby. You know what I mean? I would say that the baby is the smartest one of the situation because the baby got you to argue with him. You know what I mean? Why are you 15 arguing with a 6-year-old baby? And I've seen that happen just as well as I've seen women get emotional when I'm just being completely logical. Like if I say I don't give a damn about this, I don't give a damn about that. If I really don't give a damn, I really should have no emotional attachment. And see, what I learned about Supreme Mathematics is how to do away with all emotional attachment. And what part of Supreme Mathematics taught me that was knowledge. Knowledge is an undeniable fact, something that's not put up to dispute. So I got to be quiet up until I understand how to put some up in the cipher that's not up to dispute. You know what I'm saying? Something that's not up to preference. You know, basically feed something to you that you can go ahead and eat off of. Just like the sun out there. It's not up to debate where the sun is at. The sun is up there. We might see it from different angles, but the sun is still right where it's at. If somebody's sitting right here with me, they're not gonna be pointing over that way, and then we arguing about where the sun at. You know what I'm saying? The sun is where the sun is. Bottom line. So when you put that into reciprocation, then you have a cipher. You have a cipher when you put knowledge. When you have knowledge cipher, you, you a knowledge cipher is when knowledge is being reciprocated in 360 degrees because a cipher doesn't have an ending. A cipher just goes in a circle, in a circle, in a circle, in a circle, in a circle. That's what a cipher does. A cipher ciphers. So we have knowledge ciphering. Just imagine this an undeniable fact. Just keep doing this right here. That's what knowledge cipher is. Knowledge cipher is that right there. For instance, when I understood that, I became a vegetarian because I heard and I studied and I understood and I had the wisdom that eating meat, the body does not break meat fully down. When you eat meat, the fluids in your stomach, the digestive fluids that we have, the digestive acids and all that we have in our stomachs, it does not fully break down meat. That's why meat is still left in your body after you done ate meat for days and days and days. That's why you gotta get a colon cleansing because your body doesn't fully break down meat, so it does not fully push meat out of your system. Also, when you cook foods, you turn the dietary fiber into an actual cellulose. And cellulose is like fat compared to muscle or gristle or something like that. When you have a piece of celery, let's say it's a raw celery, it's a lot of dietary fiber in that. But then when you cook that celery, it becomes cellulose, all super soft and all that. You know what I mean? And so when you eat it, your body is used to pushing things out that's fibrous. You know what I'm saying? It's used to grabbing that fiber and pushing that fiber out. You know, so when you put cellulose into your body, it's like say pushing my finger through this hole right here. You know what I mean? It's easy because it's not cellulose. It's like it's hard, it's strong. You know what I mean? But let's say that it's like some mush or something. Let's say I went and grabbed some, what is mushy? Some peanut butter. You know what I mean? And then try to mush it through this hole right here. That's like trying to push. That's like and it had the same amount as my finger, same amount of peanut butter as this right here. You know what I mean? Same amount of peanut butter as this much right here. And I'm trying to push that through a hole. And that's the same way it's trying to push. You know, that's the same way it's trying to push cellulose through our digestive tracts as it is trying to push. As it is trying to push the fibrous material out of our system. With that, I would like to say peace. But basically, when it's all said and done, for the most part, we deal with knowledge, wisdom, understanding being our culture. Knowledge is the undeniable fact. Wisdom is the implementation of the undeniable facts. Understanding is living according to what you understand is true knowledge, and understanding is the outcome of knowledge and wisdom, which wisdom is the implementation of the undeniable fact, which is knowledge is the undeniable fact itself. And culture is our way of life based off of our knowledge, our wisdom, and our understanding. Peace. Peace. And it has zero to do with emotion.